Motion to, we have a delegation, so we'll move on to Eric Wirsching. Good morning, sir. You have 5 minutes to make your presentation.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Eric Wirsching. I'm a student from Kwantlen University. I'll refer mainly to the Burns Bog ecosystem review led by Richard Hebda in 2000 and the recent study done by Robertson Environmental Services in support of this development. The blue areas surrounding Burns Bog are owned by the MK Delta Lands Group. The far right-hand bolded property is the area proposed for development. These two outlined shaded properties, as well as a 300-meter perimeter, were included in the Robertson study. The left-hand parcel has been termed Highway 91 West, and the right-hand parcel as 10770 72nd Avenue. Under Strategy 3.1.2 of the Regional Growth Strategy, Metro Vancouver's role is to, quote, identify, secure, and enhance habitat and buffer, where feasible, park and conservation areas from activities in adjacent areas. These lands are an existing buffer between North Delta and Burns Bog and are inferred to be important to the sandhill crane. And I quote the Hebda study, the main breeding and foraging areas, plus a buffer, are required for the viability of the greater sandhill cranes in the bog. 213 hours of survey time was spent observing or attempting to observe the sandhill cranes in the Robertson study, equaling approximately 1/4 of the total survey time for the entire bioinventory. Cranes were detected in a location approximately 1 kilometer west of Highway 91 on 11 occasions. This location is deemed to be of moderately suitable foraging habitat. This development, it seems, would be an encroachment on the existing buffer between North Delta and the sandhill crane foraging areas. Most notably absent from the Robertson study are any at-risk mammal or ecological community-specific site surveys. They use existing literature in the report to suggest what might appear there today. However, the studies cited were not concerned specifically on the parcels in question and may not provide the detailed information necessary to rule out the presence of red-listed mammals or plant species communities. In compensation, Robertson Environmental conducted habitat suitability ratings within the 10770 lands for some species that are likely to occur in Burns Bog. They did not or could not determine ratings for 4 mammal species at risk, 2 of which are red-listed, 1 of which is endangered. However, they did determine suitability ratings for 8 species specifically. 7 of the 8 are listed, and 2 of those 7 are red-listed, the Pacific water shrew and the southern redback vole. With regards to the Pacific water shrew, highly rated habitat was found within the 10770 72nd Avenue lands. And I quote, habitat used by this shrew within much of the study area is probably seasonal, end quote. With regards to the southern redback vole, I quote, a small area of moderate high habitat suitability occurs within the 10770 lands, end quote. This small section occupies approximately 1/10 of the 89-acre parcel. I want to put this in context with a quote from the Burns Bog Ecosystem Review. Wherever redback voles are found in future studies in the bog, those areas must be considered as areas required for ecological viability. And another quote, the undisturbed areas outside the water bound have less value to ecological viability of the bog because they are no longer supported by the hydrologic processes of the mound. They may, however, support red or blue listed species and must be assessed for this ecological value. The absence of this vole species has not been suggested. With no land surveys done for mammals and seeing suitable habitat present, I would argue that proper assessment is not completed at this time. Although the newly revised concept plan in this project seems to avoid building on the suitable habitat area altogether, there will undoubtedly be a period of years where construction noises routinely disturb it. The post-construction effects on this habitat are unknown. Only if there were no permanent effects on the habitat and ensuing isolation from low-rated habitat was not an issue, would the redback vole even stand a chance at successfully repopulating this area. To strengthen my point, here's a quote from a study done by Glewich and Glowacka. In regenerating forests in North America, the deer mouse replaced the southern redback vole, and the latter disappears almost completely from the forest community for many years. Any change in vegetation and available foods could hinder the vole's ability to successfully forage, whereas the deer mouse typically has no trouble finding alternate food sources and therefore outcompetes the vole. Due to time constraints, I have left out many other concerns that I have regarding the lack of information on blue and red listed animal species, and especially the listed plant communities. Please consider gathering further information for proper assessment before it is determined whether a Type 2 amendment is
Thank you very much for your presentation.